Good evening, folks. Welcome to Walker Ice and Fitness Center here in Walker, Michigan. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio as your Cougars get set for the final game of the regular season. They'll face Kenowa Hills, their OK Rue Division opponent, for the second and final time in 2022-23. Catholic Central comes into tonight with a record of 17-7, and also knowing they will play next Saturday at home at the Southside Ice Arena in the second round of the regional playoffs, as they have, by virtue of their record this year and their results, earned a bye through the first round. So, for the one time this weekend, for the one time in a week, they'll play hockey, and they'll play against Kenowa Hills, a team that has dropped 7 games in a row, but celebrating senior night. So you know there'll be some emotion there on the home side. Kenowa Hills in the Boston Bruins-looking jerseys, maybe a throwback look from the Bruins' history, and the Catholic Central Cougars, of course, in the blue and the white. Gabe Sova's running the camera. I'm on the house Wi-Fi here. We'll see how it lasts throughout the broadcast. Last year we had some issues in the game here as well, which also happened to be the final game of the regular season, a game in which the Cougars won by mercy rule, 11-3, ending that game early in the third period. The Cougars start the game with possession. Braylon Outwater hoists it up off the window. It bounces free in the middle of the ice and pushed out to center by Drew Schweigert. Had a great game last time out against Rockford in a 6-0 win at home. Outwater circles in behind the net on his backhand on that fresh ice surface. Dished it on to Westrick, who scored a hat trick against Kenowa Hills in the first meeting this season. A 7-2 win for Catholic Central at home. Westrick couldn't take this pass from Outwater. It's interrupted by Harrison Smith, the only freshman on the Kenowa Hills roster. The Knights were off to a fine start. Well, it was more than a fine start. They were standing at 7-9 at the new year. Won a couple, lost one, won another, and then they've lost, like I mentioned, 7 straight to get to this point at 7-16. But the beauty of it is for them, every team makes the regional playoffs. So they'll have a chance to pull off a shocker. Jared Lang, the sophomore starting goaltender, spun it around to the far side wall and cleared out by Trace Del Carmen. Snapshot by Braden Bates, first shot on goal for the Cougars, is blockered away by Lang. Bates keeps it at the point, dumps it down low. Circling the goal is Sova, tried to stuff it in, did Nate Sova, but he was denied by Lang's pad. Bates toward the front, pad saved by Lang, so the Cougars now peppering the Kenowa Hills goal. Bates the third time on goal, save made, and the rebound cleared away with Nemesek lurking. One of the stories in this game, we have 2 30-goal scorers on the ice tonight. One of them actually just touched the puck, but the whistle sounds on the offside. Jack Jeffries, number 7 in white and black and gold. He has 33 goals, the top goal man in all of West Michigan. He's in the top 20 statewide, as is Nolan Nemesek, number 16 in blue and white, who has 30. First Cougar to reach 30 in a few seasons. And these are the only 2 30-goal scorers in the OK conferences. Bunted up the far side wall and out of the zone. There is that man, Jeffries. He and Trevin Lamming last year formed a heck of a dangerous duo. And Jeffries has kept up the pace as a junior. 33 goals, 49 total points on the year. Here's a good breakout from the Cougars, and Pollock is away in a potential 2-on-1, but it's offside as Potter was a stride ahead of the pack. 14:55 to go in the first period. Scoreless game from Walker Ice and Fitness. We're on the western outskirts of Grand Rapids, Michigan. My name is Matt Gajtka. Thank you for watching Cougar Puck Radio. As I mentioned, the Wi-Fi is bouncing around in terms of bandwidth here, so if the quality isn't what you're used to, I apologize. We'll have the full game posted. I'm also recording it in case things go really askew. Potter's wrist shot redirected into the screen and off the rink. We'll get a face-off in the offensive zone for the Cougars. Last time out for Catholic Central, I touched upon it, a 6-0 win against Rockford at home. Catholic Central shut out Rockford both times they played them. Max Moore earned the shutout, and Max actually lives in Rockford, knew a lot of the kids personally who he played against last weekend. As Outwater goes forward with this draw win by Westrick. It's the Outwater, Westrick, and Schweigert line. One of 2 dangerous scoring lines that Coach Mike Slobodnik can throw out there. Westrick ducking in behind the goal, makes a move to avoid Gabriel McCloskey's forecheck, and now Westrick takes the relay from Outwater. He dodged Brendan Hanna's inside the line, And Zach Westrick is on it again. A backhand pass of a man there. Berta stopped. Rebound. Goes wide. I don't have the best angle here. I couldn't quite tell where that puck ended up, but I think it just nubbed off the outside of the net. Berta's first shot was stopped by Lang. The second one just missed. And here's Schweigert. Give credit to Westrick for finding him. Zach Westrick swirls one in front, and it's away from Outwater's reach. Berta holds at the blue line, just barely shooting, and Lang has it, and there's no rebound as Westrick was hunting one. Gets a little tangled up with Lang and one of the Knights at the front of the net. The 3 previous times these teams have met, the Cougars have won comfortably. Last year, 10-2 and 11-3. That 11-3 win was here in the final game of the regular season. Both Nolan Nemesek and Grant Kuykendall scored hat tricks in that game. Kuykendall's third goal won the game. Not sudden death, but mercy rule with an 8-goal margin early in the third. Play was shut down per rule. Noah Partridge, a backhand pass toward the front. The Cougars defend that well as Henry Kwiatkowski was right there in the slot. Now it's picked off at center by Nate Sova, who's got a head of steam. Slicing inside. The puck's knocked away from him, but he regained it near the line, or near the boards, I should say. Put it in below the goal line for Nemesek. Shane Kwiatkowski steps up. Sova, return it to Kwiatkowski. Smooth move to skate away from trouble. Shot it, save, rebound, score! There's that man again. Noah Nemesek, number 31 on the year, and Catholic Central leads at 1-0 with 13:07 to go in the first. Kwiatkowski, the elusive one at the blue line, made a little move, actually got held, but play was allowed to continue on with the Cougars in possession. His shot was stopped by Lang, and Nemesek cleaned up the garbage. Double end, strikes again. And now he's just 2 behind Jeffries for the most goals in the OK Conference. So a fine start. Catholic Central, which has scored 105 goals on the year now, has 38 in the first period alone, and they've allowed just 13. This team is almost always ready to go. It's a real credit to them and to the coaching staff as well. Gevorkian behind the net, makes the pass out to Hoffer, stubbed the one-timer, but Hoffer's on it with good hustle at the sideboards, half wall. Hoffer chipped it deep. On the chase, there's Connor Schetz. Hoffer and Schetz, 2 seniors on this forward line out there right now for the boys in blue. Gevorkian gets a hit. He's a junior. Gevorkian in search of his first point as a varsity player. This is game number 23 for him. It's not going to happen right there as the Knights come rambling through to center, but Menzel coughed up the puck. Definitely an advantage in manpower. You look at the 2 benches. When the Knights aren't changing, there's not a lot of guys on the bench. Westrick swoops in, taking it from Schweigert. Westrick right to the goal, and he hit the outside of the net on a finesse shot on the forehand. He tried to catch Lang leaning away from that post. Didn't work, but the battle continues. They pull it away from Gustafson behind the net, do the Cougars. Bates' high, wide shot. Lang went reaching for it. Could be dangerous there for a goalie. That was well offline, but didn't hurt him. Gustafson pinned behind the boards, or pardon me, that was actually Partridge. And now Gustafson clears for the Knights. It's a foot race. Bates wins it, the sophomore defenseman for Catholic Central. 11.5 to go in the first period. Relayed on, the one touch to Westrick. Drop pass, Outwater shot low, and Lang sticked it away to the corner. Outwater's there near the sideboards. This is Drew Schweigert backhanding it down the wall. It's loose in the middle of the slot and scooped up by the Knights. And there's Jeffries. Fan on the shot. He's going to get back to it near the side wall. The power play has been good for Kenowa Hills this year, or at least it's been good to Noah Partridge, Jack Jeffries. That's how they've done a lot of their damage this year. Jeffries has a team-high 6 assists on the power play. Partridge has 4 power play goals. So the Cougars are going to try to keep this thing at even strength, and they'd like their chances if they do. Bates goes cross rink. Henry Holloman, the senior D-man, floats it over the goal. It bangs off the end glass. Scooped around the goal by Griffin Willett, one of 5 seniors honored before the game by the Knights Hockey Club. Picked off near the blue line by Luke Goheen. First-year varsity player puts it in behind the net for his fellow rookie at this level, Alex Pollock. 2-on-2 battle for the puck. It's pinned up against the wall with 10.25 minutes to go in the first period. Return to the point. Holloman faked a shot. Now he tried to shoot it down the wall. He ran into a Knight there. Harrison Smith, his opposite number. Sager stumbling down in front of us. Bunts a pass along. Here comes Goheen shooting. And Lang with an easy save. Behind the net, though, Goheen's on it again. Nice toe drag to pull it away from Hanna's behind the goal. Out to the line. Berta got a great chance earlier in this period. Couldn't get the shot through from the point. Berta also scored against Rockford early on last week. It's been a light schedule late in the season for the Cougars. Just one game last weekend, just one game this weekend. Then they'll wait until Saturday to play in the regional, which they will host. Bounced on goal, and Trent Goheen is heard from for the first time in this game. And the junior netminder with a record of 14-7 and 3 shutouts pins this down for the whistle with 9:27 to go in period number 1. Catholic Central's won 12 of its last 16 games since the middle of December. They lost to Flint Powers Catholic up in Gaylord 7-1. And since then, there have been very few subpar performances. This is icing against Kenowa Hills. It's been a very consistent squad. Only losses they've suffered over that span: twice to Byron Center, which has lost just once all year and will win the OK Rue Division. The Cougars are in second place. Also a defeat on the road, 1-0 to Saginaw Heritage. And a close loss to Grosse Pointe South down in Trenton a couple of weekends ago. To Kwiatkowski. Has a look. Feeds it laterally onto his brother. Shooting. And Henry Kwiatkowski put it off the boards. Up ahead in the skates of Jeffries. And it's Henry, the sophomore, banking it along. Bouncing free, picked off at center again. Sova intercepts another one. He cuts in and shoots. Lang with a good save with the glove, and he holds. No rebound. Sova's just been lurking, ready to pounce in the neutral zone. A couple of times he's hopped on loose pucks. And he has been away into the attacking zone. 8:45 to go in the first period. The only goal on the board, Nolan Nemesek from Shane Kwiatkowski, an even strength goal. We've had no penalties in this game so far. We're at Walker Ice and Fitness, where the Cougars wrap up the regular season for the second straight year. Kwiatkowski circles the wagons, left it there. Hoffer wristing, a blocker save. Shane Kwiatkowski dragging it away, pulling it for a shot, and it was ripped off his stick at the last second. Here comes Partridge, hair flapping in the breeze behind him, makes an angle pass up to Acker, the captain of the Knights. Acker one-handing it to the front of the goal. Back out to the point. Griffin Willett tried to shoot it. Blocked. Rebound sitting there for Acker. He couldn't put it on goal, and now bounced right through the low slot and wide into the corner. Stuffed in front by Partridge. No one home, though, for Kenowa Hills. And lifted off the glass and down by Henry Kwiatkowski. He's okay with that icing with 7:54 left in the first period. Shane Kwiatkowski now has 23 points to lead all Catholic Central Blue Liners. Actually ties him for 5th on the team with Drew Schweigert overall. Nemesek has 6 goals over the last 2 years against Kenowa Hills. This is spun around the wall to the near side, weak side, no one home there for Catholic Central. And so it goes for a second consecutive icing. Just about halfway through this first period on the road. The Cougars have not played a lot of true road games this year. They lost the opener on the road to West Ottawa, 6-4, but actually done quite well in these scenarios. They beat Christian the night before Thanksgiving. As Schweigert carries in, wristing, and Lang absorbs and holds once more. Schweigert had a heck of a game against Rockford. By my count, a couple of points there, 2 assists. Cougars also won against Midland Dow on the road, long road trip. Bates slid it around. They demolished Granville after Christmas, scoring 11 times. Bates right through the slot. Nemesek had 4 in that game. Season high for Catholic Central. Bates on goal again. He's got, I think, 5 shots on goal, or at least 5 attempts, maybe 4 of them on goal in this first period. Another pad save by Lang, and the Knights eventually clear, but the Cougars take it right back. Westrick on the regroup. Zach Westrick looking for an angle. Fed it off Schweigert. He roofed it for the goal. Drew Schweigert goes up the ladder on Jared Lang for his 9th goal of the year and a 2-zip Catholic Central lead with 7:01 to go in the first. And Westrick darting into the offensive zone, set it all up. Schweigert with the finishing touch. And the Cougars continue their mastery of the Knights so far. Over the last 2 seasons, that's 30 goals for and 7 against. Against their relatively new division opponents. Didn't used to be that way. They didn't play Kenowa Hills for many years prior to last season. Backhand pass it ended up being from Nemesek. I thought it was going to be a shot. Sova could not get to that rebound. His stick was tied up. Mulvey digs in below the goal line. First time I've called his name in this game, but he's been good against the Knights too recently. Bates, another shot, another save by Lang, and another whistle. Mulvey has 3 goals over the last 2 seasons against the Knights. The Cougars now officially outscored opponents by a 3-to-1 ratio in the first period. That's 39 goals for and 13 against. So that continues to pile up. If you're looking for trends you want to continue into the playoffs, that's certainly one of them. Below the goal line, the Knights go D-to-D, or at least try to. Sova scoops up this loose puck, though, off the Mulvey. Sharp angle shot. Loose puck on the rebound, shoved wide by Nemesek, who's on it again. Hard shot on the turning drive. Fended off by Lang again. Lang's going to be a busy boy tonight, it seems like, as Kwiatkowski chasing back for this rolling puck. Side of the net. Calms things down. That's Henry Kwiatkowski, number 10. Both Kwiatkowski defensemen are right-handed shots as well, as being just one number apart on the roster sheet, 10 and 11. Zach Gustafson on the retrieval for Kenowa Hills. Popped it down the wall. Potter takes a shove in the back by Lachlan Acker. Sophomore defenseman. 2 Ackers on this squad, Jaden and Lachlan. Shane Kwiatkowski's on the spot to lift that one deep. 5 to go in the first period. 2-0 Catholic Central. Nemesek and Schweigert, your goal getters. Shane Kwiatkowski dangling, dishing. Goheen ridden off the puck. Harrison Smith around and out, and ruled that it could have been touched, or maybe was touched by the referee on the near side, so no icing call upcoming. Kwiatkowski bails out his defense partner, Holloman. Feeds it on a 10-foot pass up to Potter. His bouncing play to the near side's picked off by Jeffries. Now Holloman, though, takes over. Henry Holloman alone for the shot. A strong one, but gloved just a couple of inches off the ice by Lang, and he keeps it. Jared Lang, interestingly enough, has 3 assists on the year. He has a 5-7 record, a .918 save percentage, 4.00 goals against. So .918 save percentage is great, but giving up 4 a game tells you how many shots he's facing, which is a lot. The goalies can only do so much. That's why I hate to use goals against average as any kind of measure of goaltending prowess. Another icing against the Knights. Goheen gets a rare touch of the puck to just spin it back down the rink for another offensive zone draw for his teammates. 4:20 left in the first. Unfortunately, the shot counts have been inconsistent as far as actually being on the box scores for the Cougars when they go on the road, especially. So I can't really tell you with any reliability what Trent Goheen's save percentage is, but he's had another strong season, suffice it to say. Take it from someone who's seen most of his games this year. Bates wristing it wide of the goal. The puck is just following number 88 in blue tonight. Shane Kwiatkowski was dumped, one of the few times you see him lose his footing on the check. Gavorkian falls down somewhat violently, but he's right back up. Hoffer trying to drive it toward the net. Acker swept in to take it away and feed it up to Jeffries. Could not get by Kwiatkowski. Jeffries wristing wide of the goal from the boards. He has not had much of an opportunity to put any pucks toward net in this one so far. Partridge bumped off the biscuit by Kwiatkowski. Bates pirouetting and somehow still has the puck in his skates. None of the Knights could figure out how to take it away from him. 3.5 left in the first period. Hoffer on a nifty backhand on to Bates, who's open to take a look, but gave it away at the line. Stepping up, Brendan Hannes wants to shoot it, pulls up and does. Blocker save by Goheen. Easily his most difficult save of this first period. Down the ice it goes for another stoppage, another icing, but this time against Catholic Central. This will be the last Cougar Puck Radio broadcast of the year. I'll be on the National High School Federation Network, or National Federation of High Schools Network. I always get that backwards. As I was for the playoff game against Forest Hills Central last year in Jackson. But you have to pay for it. I'll be posting highlights of the Cougars playoff games on our page, but unfortunately can no longer provide anything free once we get to the postseason. Outwater surging ahead. Braylon Outwater stopped. Rebound, scores! Schweigert again. It's 3-0 Cougars. And he wants to drive the Zamboni. Schweigert gets a pair in this first period. Another rebound goal from right out in front. Shoveled home by Schweigert. It was Nemesek who scored from the side of the crease in the opening couple of minutes. A very similar look to that one. Give Outwater the primary assist on the chance. Goheen flips it inadvertently over the high glass into the screen. That'll set up a face-off in Cougars real estate. This game has the feel of last year's game. The Cougars scoring early and often. Here I'm talking about. Acker toward the front, loose there. Partridge trying to stuff it in. Goheen was down, but I don't think Partridge ever got a shot off after all that work. Jeffries toward the front. Berta blocked that down. Berta had it stripped by Jeffries. They knocked the stick out of Jeffries' hands inadvertently and ruled to not be a penalty, and that allowed an easy exit for Catholic Central. Westrick scooting in behind. Schweigert's on hat trick watch now. It's off the back of the net. Saw the net wriggle for a moment. And I'm calling this game from the same perspective that you're seeing on your device. So it's at the far end of the ice. I don't have a great look if the puck goes behind the net, for instance. So you'll have to bear with me there as Berta takes this deflected puck out at center. Jeffries gave him a small bump. Nemesek couldn't hold it at the blue line. The Cougars are changing. Henry Kwiatkowski fresh off the bench. Nemesek on the shoot in. Lang got a stick on it. Now he chases that puck into the corner. High saucer out to center. Kwiatkowski gloves it down. 90 seconds to go in the first, and a 3-0 Cougars lead. 2 goals for Schweigert, 1 for Nemesek. Nate Sova slipped the pass for Mulvey, couldn't take it cleanly. Lang swatted it, but right back to Mulvey. On the overlap, Nemesek. And here's Sova with it behind the goal. Sova out to Henry Kwiatkowski. Dusts it off and shoots. Lang makes the save, and he stays on his feet to stop play. 1:08 to go in the first. The Cougars moved up a spot in the MI Hockey Hub Division III poll this week. They are now number 6, for what it's worth. And it's not much, mainly for conversation purposes. In fact, that's the only thing it's good for, but good to see the team getting recognition. They'll certainly be a team to watch as the D3 playoffs get started this week, with the Cougars hosting. Nemesek on goal once and then twice. He couldn't get that second follow-up opportunity on net. It was blocked. Catholic Central battling hard for a fourth goal before the buzzer sounds. 52 seconds to go in the period. And cleared, just barely, by Kenowa Hills. Shane Kwiatkowski rims it around the kick plate. From back there, Lang handed it off. Hanna's on the give over to Acker and by everyone at the blue line. Shane Kwiatkowski with 30 seconds. Right in front of his net, he carries it. On his backhand, couldn't get it past Harrison Smith for checking hard again. So Kwiatkowski goes to little bro Henry up the near wall. Nemesek, one touch of beauty. On to Mulvey. Could be another odd man rush if the Cougars hurry. Mulvey, right face off circle. Stopped by Lang. Big rebound. And Henry Kwiatkowski couldn't drag it loose for a shot. Dumped out to center and beyond. 7 seconds to go in the period. One last attempt for a headman pass. Nemesek couldn't guide it into the offensive zone. And that's going to do it for period number 1. Nemesek, Schweigert, and Schweigert. Sounds like a law firm, but that's how the box score reads in the first period of play. Nothing behind. Trent Goheen down to our right. And the Cougars have a nice down payment on what they hope is victory number 18 on the year. We'll take a break from Walker Ice and Fitness and bring it back on Cougar Puck Radio after this short break. Second period moments away from Walker Ice and Fitness. I'm Matt Gajtka. This is Cougar Puck Radio. The Cougars lead 3-0 after one period. Catholic Central attacking the goal to our right in the second. In the final game of the regular season, Catholic Central exerting its will against the Kenowa Hills Knights. And here's Outwater stealing it away in the corner from Lang. Back out to the point. Bates shoved it deep. Schweigert couldn't take it cleanly. Schweigert with 2 goals in that first period of play. Holloman toward the net, redirected, I think, by Outwater, but wide into the far side corner. Up in the air, and it ends up off the rink, out of play for a stoppage. Just 27 seconds into the second period. Scoreboard still says first period, but trust me, it is the second. Last year in the final game of the season, we only got to about a minute into the third period before the Cougars scored their 11th goal to make it 11-3 and win it by 8 by mercy rule. They've beaten Kenowa Hills twice by mercy rule, actually both times last year, and nearly did it again this year. 7-2 winners were the Cougars at home against the Knights. That was in late November. Here we are about 3 months later, almost exactly 3 months after the start of the regular season. We're wrapping it up. I'll get you some more details on the regional playoff bracket in a moment as Jeffries striding ahead. Jeffries against Goheen, couldn't get the shot away. It drifted off his stick as Bates confronted him to the front of the net, and Jaden Acker couldn't get a clean shot off. Acker listed as a D-man on my roster. He was up in the slot there, though. Acker with 6 goals and 7 assists for 13 points. And he is back on D, just a very active defenseman. Cracks it cross rink. Menzel on the carry, ran into resistance, heavy resistance there inside the line, and the play's broken up. Counterattack for the Cougars. Sova pulling up, wants to shoot, now he will, and Lang cradles it and holds. You can see the bandwidth jumping around on my monitor here, so I know the quality of video can't be as good as I hope. So if you have called it quits on the broadcast tonight, well, I guess you're not hearing this, but if you have, I understand. Hoping for better as the night goes along, but it was like this last year too. There will be highlights, of course, on Cougar Puck Radio's YouTube channel, maybe later tonight. I'm home alone tonight, so no excuse not to get it done. No excuse except for watching NHL games late, which would be the temptation here. Goheen on the high flip. Nemisek ridden off the puck, but following on is Mulvey to the outside, and his shot missed to the end boards. Nemisek, Mulvey, and Sova out there right now for the Cougars on the forward line. Dropped it back. Did Nemisek save made on the shot from Henry Kwiatkowski. Lively rebound, but all the way out the center it goes. Aerial pass cross rink. Nemisek couldn't flag it down. Sova getting into the fray. So does Mulvey. He flips it in below the goal line. Back there, Mulvey prying it loose in front. Sova stopped by Lang. Sova just needed to take a little bit of time there to turn it to his forehand. Now he centers it, and Nemisek had his stick lifted at the last second, I think by Lachlan Acker, to prevent a slam dunk opportunity. The front of the net, and we have our first penalty of the game. It's called back in the neutral zone, and it's roughing, says the referee, with 14:05 to go in the second. And the Cougars will go to the power play. Gabriel McCloskey, the guilty man. Shame for the Knights because they actually had something going there in the attacking zone, but it's all nullified on the penalty call. Westrick, Outwater, and Schweigert up front. Shane Kwiatkowski and Bates on the blue line here to start the power play. The first of the night for Catholic Central. They are just about 1 for 4 on average on the season, 24%. Outwater backing away from pressure from Acker. Below the goal line, Acker rips it away from Westrick, and Acker's backhand hits a skate, and Jeffries does clear just barely out over the line. Outwater collided with the Knight on the far side. On the near side, it's Westrick going cross rink. Bates shot, and Lang makes another stop. Tell you what, Jared Lang's looked pretty good in this game. The pucks stick to him. That's one compliment you can give to a goaltender that would make any of them smile. Not a lot of rebounds when it looks like there really should be rebounds, honestly. And we've seen it at this level. A lot of times the glove doesn't work as well as some goalies would want. Not the case for Acker, at least not in this game. That glove has been like a puck-seeking magnet. Out to Kwiatkowski. Head and shoulders fake, dish to Schweigert. It skipped by him, but Westrick is on the spot. 1:09 to go on the roughing penalty to McCloskey of Kenowa Hills, which has lost 7 in a row and down 3-0. Schweigert to the front, score! What a pass! And Outwater's there to polish it off for a 4-0 lead. Exactly halfway through the power play, the Cougars convert. Outwater's second point of the night is a power play goal, his 15th goal of the year, third on the advantage. And Drew Schweigert has another multi-point game. Well, he already had one. He had 2 goals in the first and the primary assist on that. Well, the beat goes on in the all-time series, at least the recent all-time series between these two squads. These teams are in the same region as well. Kenowa Hills plays East Grand Rapids coming up on Wednesday at Southside to see who will play Forest Hills Northern and Eastern in the regional semi next Saturday. That'll be the night game. The Cougars play the afternoon game. Alex Pollock had to back out, or will have to back out of the zone on the delayed offside. Anyway, as I was saying, the Cougars have a bye to the semi, as do the Bird Dogs of FHN and E. Sorry me about that. Shot around and out. But Forest Hills Northern and Eastern has a bye to play either Kenowa Hills or East Grand Rapids. Catholic Central will play the winner of Granville against Big Rapids. And that game will also be Wednesday between Granville and Big Rapids at Southside. Bates, wristing, blocker saved by Lang. Punched it away to the sidewall, did Lang. Cleared, and the Cougars have to recycle. Schetz on the shoot-in. Off a leg, right back to Schetz, but the bouncing puck betrayed him. Jeffries played it ahead in the skates of Partridge. He might have had a breakaway if he looked up quickly. Dealt it on back to Jeffries, circles the goal. Leading scorer in the OK Conference. Played it toward the front, and that's a pad save by Trent Goheen on a quick tap shot from McCloskey, fresh out of the penalty box. Gavorkian stretches out through to center. Gavorkian over the line, lost control of the puck. Lachlan Acker takes it back for Kenowa Hills, but he gave it right back to the Cougars. And Henry Holloman, he shoots in, chased after it briefly, then he realized he wants to get back, as there were forwards in there on the forward check. 11:26 to go in the second period. Catholic Central up by 4 on the road in pursuit of win number 18 on the year, and what would be their 13th win in 17 games since the middle of December. Nemesek handles a bouncing puck, dished it back. Sova pulling up and shooting, and Lang looked around as if to say, I don't know where this one is really, but it was in his paraphernalia somewhere. He got the stoppage in play with 11:01 to go in the second. So if it goes according to chalk, we'll see East Grand Rapids against Forest Hills Northern and Eastern, two rink rivals from Patterson, as Kwiatkowski took the shot that Nemesek deflected. Lang made the save. And then it'll be Big Rapids against Catholic Central, one would imagine. Big Rapids had a record of 12-11 this year. Not a lot of common opponents with Catholic Central. Not to get ahead of myself. Granville, of course, an OK Rue Division opponent. That'd be a pretty major upset if they were able to get by Big Rapids, though. The Cougars wiped out the Bulldogs twice this year. Nemesek shooting, and it's deflected over the crossbar on the handoff from Sova. Those two work some magic in close quarters. Sova on it again. Catholic Central stays hungry for another goal. Mulvey behind the net. Lang recovered after initially not tracking the puck behind the net. Mulvey chops at it. Off of Acker. Acker gets it right back on the return feed. Solid defense at the blue line, though, by Shane Kwiatkowski. Didn't allow the zone entry. Broke it up with the stick. And Kwiatkowski is away on the attack now. Shane Kwiatkowski, fan on the shot. Got it right back. Kwiatkowski again, saved by Lang. Loose puck at the side. It hit the outside of the net on the chance by Mulvey. Sova couldn't get it through traffic. Nemesek slugged it toward the front. That's blocked down. Hannas one-arms it out of the zone. And here are the Knights. Maybe a chance here. Smith has a man going to the net in Rule, but never got possession of the puck. He was pinned there by Sova nicely. Nemesek deflected it ahead. Here's Outwater with a chance. Braylon Outwater, and he put it wide of the post. Wanted to go glove side against Lang. Beat him, but it wasn't on line. Jeffries burrows in. Left the puck behind. Kwiatkowski, long shift for him, but still enough jump in his legs to carry that puck out and gain the blue. Low shot. Stick save by Lang. Kwiatkowski pursues it. It bounces free to Schweigert. He takes a look. Has a man coming down the slot. It's Westrick, but it went under his stick. Kwiatkowski to Schweigert. Got the shot off. It was blocked. Again, Lang made the save. Loose puck, and he's got it. Outwater right there hunting, as was Schweigert, of course. Could have easily had a third goal. I'm pretty sure it would be his first varsity hat trick. Schweigert has 10 goals on the year. After 2 more tonight. Nemesek's up to 31. He's within 2 of Jack Jeffries on the other side of the ice this evening, and he's out there right now as Jeffries in the slot. He pursues this as Berta wrists it. Pad save by Lang. Lead pass just away from Jeffries. Partridge yells out an epithet as the puck skids down for an icing. Partridge was the one who had the chance to hook up with Jeffries there for a breakaway. 8:36 to go in the second period. Westrick yanks it back on the faceoff win. Berta angled it toward the corner. Outwater niftily flipped that into the air, and here's Westrick kicking it along behind the back pass. Broken up. Alex Sager out at the point. Shot it, bouncing around. Side of the net. Lang pounces on top of it, and Catholic Central continues to fight for those rebounds, but Jared Lang is hanging in there. He was on his backside that time. Just trying to make himself big and hope that Catholic Central couldn't lift it over him. You're betting as a goalie there that no one's going to have time to get the leverage to roof it. And that's what goaltending is. Playing the percentages a lot of the time. Sager, another save by Lang on the wrist shot from the point. Westrick circling, good speed, shot, save, rebound. Westrick chips it wide of the goal. That was off of Lang's stick, I think. Westrick's pass, Berta steps up. Couldn't get it away from Tyler Rule, though. And down the ice it goes, Menzel on the chase. Alex Sager does a good job to wedge him off the puck with under 8 to go in the second period. Stashed in behind the Cougars' goal. I don't think Goheen's made a save in this period. Most of the action has been down to our right. Lucky you, that's the side we're closest to here on the road. Toward the net, there's Goheen. He has made at least one save. Now I do recall a scramble in front. That one might be considered a save by a generous scorekeeper. Score remains 4-0. It looks like the Cougars are going to finish with 6 players at 20 points or more. They have 4 players with 10 goals or more. Well, Shane Kwiatkowski can get to 10 tonight with just 1 more. That would give them 5. double-digit scores on the year. It's a team with some offensive depth. Goheen couldn't win the race. Well, he did win the race, but he couldn't beat the puck to the goal line. That's what you got to do at this level to wipe out the icing. So we'll drag it on back down to our left for another defensive zone draw. Good turnout for Cougars fans on the road tonight, as it usually is. The visitors section is pretty much full, maybe about 80% full. Off the draw, Brody Potter pursuing the loose puck. Potter squeezes it out to center, and Goheen partially fanned on that flip in, but it did the job nonetheless. Gustafson nearly gave it up to Potter. Pollock gloves down that puck and ruled to be a closed hand on the puck, so the faceoff will be in neutral ice. And one of the Knights is down. That's Partridge. He was actually laboring earlier in this second period, I noticed. And he is really struggling now. He's barely pushing off of that left leg. He got tangled up behind the play. I didn't see what happened, truth be told. And Partridge throws his stick into the bench in disgust. Kenowa Hills coached by Matt Wiedenhoft. And it's Mike Slobodnik's 13th season behind the bench for the Cougars. Assisted by Josh Stella, Mike Moss, and Joel Kwiatkowski. Luke Goheen has some room. Oh, he nearly scored there. That hit the outside of the post, I think. Best I could tell from this low angle. Potter battling hard. Dished it back behind the net. Pollock squeezed off it by Hannah. Pollock gets it back. Alex Pollock, he got poke checked by Lang. A little sneak attack by the goaltender. Pollock shooting. Lang mishandled initially on the first save, but he hopped on it on the second chance. 6:23 left in the second period. Alex Pollock, the junior, first-year varsity player, is going to handle this face-off. After some housekeeping by the referee, the puck is dropped and cleared through the legs of Henry Kwiatkowski, back in the direction of Shane Kwiatkowski in his own end, fighting against Alex Menzel for that puck. Menzel wins it, but handed it right back to Pollock, covering up behind the net. Shane Kwiatkowski played it around the yellow wood on to Potter. That's going to be way offside as Luke Goheen couldn't hold up. 6 minutes to go in the period. One goal in this period for Catholic Central, that from Braylon Outwater on the power play. 4 minutes into the frame. We're now into the latter stages here. Henry Kwiatkowski shoveled it down the boards while falling. Right back in the possession of Kenowa Hills. And no icing here as Lachlan Acker's long clearance bounced just wildly enough to slow it up. And that forced Shane Kwiatkowski to play it. Henry Kwiatkowski, the two brothers, been out there quite a bit tonight. That pass missed Gavorkian through the Morris at center ice. Sometimes it's just a blur of colors and sticks and skates in the middle. You got to try to make sense of it as a defenseman, trying to make that first pass out of your zone. Gavorkian did come open, but it just took a little while longer than it needed to. Sam Moore runs right through a Knight, and the Cougars break it out. Connor Schetz, an opportunity. He's stopped by Lang. Rebound to the sideboards. Moore. Lang swings it away with the big goal stick. Right back to Sam Moore, though. His pass trying to find Gavorkian. Could not connect with him. But Moore is on it once more. Henry Kwiatkowski, nice stutter step. Now found Schetz, open for a shot. Lang with the save well out of the blue paint to close down the angle on Connor Schetz. He and Gavorkian both out there together, both seeking a point, their first point of the season. It was one of their better shifts that we can recall. Had multiple opportunities there. Came close, but the puck wouldn't bounce their way. With under 5 to play in the second. The Nemesek, Mulvey, and Sova line is back out. Nemesek played it behind Lachlan Acker to the front. Mulvey, oh, what a stop! One of the best saves of the year by Jared Lang on the slam dunk attempt by Mulvey, and both Nemesek and Sova dap him up afterward. Sova's still shaking his head. First of all, Nemesek had the initial opportunity in front, and then Mulvey, I'm sure he thought he was going to score before that puck was even off his stick. Lachlan Acker up the far side boards. Menzel missed, hooking up with Jaden Acker at center ice. The puck's bouncing around. Nate Sova, one touch, another good one to Mulvey, trying to make up for that earlier miss. A backhand save made. Rebound was there, but the Cougars couldn't get it. Now Sager shooting it off a leg. Sova, wide stance, protecting the puck. Berta helps out, wrists it offline. Nemesek looks around, gives a little head and shoulders check before he picks up the puck. Bounce toward the front. Lang skillfully kicks that away. Like what I'm seeing from Jared Lang, that's for sure in this game. Sova, the drag, the pass, backhand by Mulvey, saved by Lang, it's still free, and cleared right up the center of the ice by Lachlan Acker, icing against Kenowa Hills with 3:46 left in the second. Well, you can't say the Cougars aren't trying to get that fifth. They have been spending the vast majority of this period in the attacking zone since Outwater scored for a 4-0 lead. Westrick gets face-off duty, and he turns his body to win that on the forehand. Schweigert to Westrick. Westrick a shot. Somewhat surprised Lang, but he went down to a knee to hold on to that. Jared Lang living up to the last line of defense cliche. You always hear about goaltending. He has some throwback pads, too. I like that blocker. It looks like the old-timey ones that had the big nail-looking things on the outside. I don't even know what those are called. I don't have a PhD in goaltending equipment, so you'll have to help me out if you were around back then when everything was made out of leather. Well, brown leather, I should say. Like it came straight off the cow. And it matches quite nicely with the black and gold color scheme. Another penalty against Kenowa Hills. Cross-checking is the call. 3:10 to go in the period. Brendan Hannas has a seat. Second power play of the game for the Cougars. They're 1 for 1. They have not taken a penalty. Mostly because they've had the puck for the entirety of this game, it seems like. At least 70% of the time it feels like they've had it. And in hockey, that's a lot. It's a game that is inherently random and leans toward 50-50. Westrick with the shot. Outwater kicked it loose after his initial try was denied. And bunted away and out by Kenowa Hills. Schweigert regroups here, pulls up. Lost control briefly, but there's Westrick to take it. Westrick to Outwater, right in front. Bates couldn't get the shot off cleanly, and it bounces wildly in behind the net. Outwater's on it, half minute into the power play. Schweigert faking, holding. That's a dangerous spot behind the net. Westrick, Schweigert, Shane Kwiatkowski bouncing puck out by the blue line. He settles it and saucers it to Schweigert. 1:12 to go on the power play. Schweigert's there, and he fanned on the shot. Might have had his stick knocked off line there on his attempted wrist shot. Kwiatkowski intercepts, skating in dynamically to the backhand. Oh, the puck wouldn't behave. It rode up on edge. Bates clears to the near wing. Westrick, cross rink. There's Bates again. Stopped by Lang. Rebound Outwater. He's stopped too. And no further play. 1:55 to go in the second period. A period that's been just as dominant puck possession-wise and chance-wise for the Cougars, but Jared Lang has been dynamite for Kenowa Hills. Was he asking for a timeout here? He's got an equipment issue, I think. He's dropped his glove. We got a little bit of time to gather his thoughts. This is certainly one of the better goaltending performances I've seen against Catholic Central this year. And it's still a 4-0 Cougars lead. Late stages, second period. Holloman, wristing save, rebound, and Lang holds it out again. And Sova can't believe it. Hoffer was cross-checked after the whistle, well after the whistle. I wonder if anything's going to be called after that. Hoffer's been used as a net front man on the power play this year quite frequently. And it looks like a couple of players are headed off. Mulvey for the Cougars and Menzel for Kenowa Hills. First penalty against Catholic Central, but it's not going to change the power play, which still has 37 seconds to go on it. Lang with a discussion with the referee. We have one linesperson and two referees in this game. A lot of times we have four officials, just the three on this occasion. This final game of the regular season for the Cougars, not for Kenowa Hills. They play again tomorrow. Another division game. Jeffries drifts that wide from the high slot, shorthanded. Jeffries does have 3 shorthanded goals on the year. 9 seconds left on the power play. The Cougars need to move quickly to score on this one. Westrick dropped it back. Holloman had to take it on his backhand, now to the forehand. His shot was off of Tyler Rule's arm. And the power play is over. Snapshot deflected off the drive from Nemesek. Lang couldn't track it, didn't matter as it missed. Cleared by Gustafson. Past Kwiatkowski, but he tipped it. Icing waved off, 50 seconds left in the second period. Alex Menzel, or pardon me, that's Harrison Smith, was on it first for Kenowa Hills, but couldn't make a play. This pass eludes the reach of Westrick. Griffin Willett gave it away behind. Potter to Westrick, one touch on to Sova, never got through. Slap shot by Henry Kwiatkowski, covered up by Lang. 29 seconds left. Hard to believe, but this is probably just going to be a 1-goal period for Catholic Central. For what it's worth, it is their, quote, weakest period of the season. They've still outscored opponents in the second period, but it's just by a 6-goal margin, 31-25. Jay Necker right to the front, deflected away. Cougars had to play some D there. Alex Pollock did the job. 7 seconds left before the buzzer. Henry Kwiatkowski, one last chance, and Lang eats it up. 0.8 seconds left on the clock. It was a sharp angle chance, and on the strong side of the ice for Henry Kwiatkowski, so that means your stick actually sees a worse angle than your eyes do, if that makes any sense. Off wing is where you want to be if you're on your forehand, typically, to get a better angle. Time runs out as the puck was dropped and Pollock just took one hack at it, and that's that. 1 goal in the period, that for Braylon Outwater on the power play. It was early on, just 4 minutes into the frame. We've played 34 minutes from Walker Ice and Fitness, and the score is Catholic Central 4 and Kenowa Hills 0. We'll be back for the third period and the conclusion of tonight's game and the regular season on Cougar Puck Radio after this break.